Hey book nerds, welcome back to my channel, The Book Nerd. Thank you again for joining me, and if this is your first time visiting my channel, welcome. If you've returned, thank you for coming back. So today what I'm going to be talking about is the books that I plan on reading for fall. It is ambitious, and I need to have more faith in myself. I don't think it's going to happen, but we'll see. So you just never know. So let's get started. The book that I'm currently reading is this cozy mystery by Wendy Kendall. And this book is called Cat Out of the Bag. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm a little over halfway finished with this book. I was supposed to be finished with it before fall came. It was supposed to be an end of summer read, but I'm still reading it. So this one's going to count as one of my fall reads. The next book that I plan on reading is this book by John Grisham called Camino Wins. And this is a sequel to Camino Island. And I really like Camino Island, so I was excited about reading this. I've talked about it before. This was supposed to be another end of summer read. It is now going to be a fall read. And this is a mystery thriller suspense type book. And it involves a hurricane. It involves an author and a bookstore owner. So that's all, and a murder, of course. So that's all I need to know about it. I'm looking forward to reading this and hopefully starting it early this week. So at least I'll be done by the end of September. The next book that I want to read is this mystery by Maureen Johnson called Truly Devious. And I just keep putting this book off, but I want to read it really bad. And fall just feels like a great time to read mysteries. And you're going to see most of the books are mysteries or horror. And so I'm really in the mood to read mysteries. I'm excited to start this book. And a little bit about it, I'm just going to read the book. At the back of the book. Ellingham Academy is a famous private school in Vermont founded by an early 20th century tycoon for the best and brightest students around. When Ellingham's wife and daughter were kidnapped, the only clue was a mocking riddle listing methods of murder, signed with the frightening pseudonym Truly Devious. Their disappearance became one of the great unsolved crimes in history. Many years later, true crime aficionado Steve Bell is set to begin her first year at the academy, and she's determined to solve this cold case. That is, she will solve it when she gets a grip on her demanding new school life and her housemates, the inventor, the novelist, the actor, the artist, and the jokester. But Truly Devious makes a surprise return. The past has crawled out of its grave, and someone has gotten away with murder. So you can see why I would want to read this if you're a mystery fan. If you like this genre, you know that it has a great sounding plot, and also it's a lot of you probably already read it. So, but I'm excited about reading this one this fall. And the next book that I would like to read this fall is The Vanishing Star by, again, Maureen Johnson. So this is book 2 of the Truly Devious series. And I'm not even going to read the back of this book because it might tell me or give away something that happened in the first one. But again, it's another mystery by Maureen Johnson. I'm pretty sure it's probably in the same type setting, which is an academic setting. And that's something I absolutely love. I don't know if I've told you all, but I'm also an instructor at a college, and I love school so much that I just had to start working at one. So I also like to read books about school as well. The next book is Deacon King Kong, and this book is by James McBride. And this book is considered to be a historical fiction, kind of crime or thriller type book. And it's in that genre. And this book is about a deacon that kills a drug dealer in their neighborhood. And if I understand it correctly, it takes place in like the projects in the late 1960s, which gives it that historical fiction feel. And something about there's going to be some intersecting of lives, or there's a reason or a pattern as to why the deacon decided to kill this drug dealer. So we'll see. But I've been really wanting to read this book as well, and just haven't gotten around to it. But this one's another one that I'm really looking forward to cracking open for the fall. It even has great fall colors. I mean, you just have to read this in the fall. The next book that I want to read is by Lucy Foley, and it's called The Guest List. This too is a mystery. And this is another one that I'm really looking forward to reading. And I believe that this one is about like a wedding. Yeah, it's a wedding somewhere really like swanky, you know, just really nice. And a murder is going to take place at the reception or the wedding or something like that. And anyway, it has to get solved. So again, another great fall book to read. I mean, look at this cover. I live in Washington State. This kind of just speaks Washington at some points in the fall. So a great one to have a nice cup of tea or hot apple cider or something like that and read. Now we're going to get into the horror books that I plan on reading, and these will probably go into these will be in later October. And the first one is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia, and this is another one that I am super just hyped about reading. This one is it's a horror, but it's a Gothic horror, and it is about like I believe a socialite who goes to help her cousin or something like that, who lives in like this castle or something like that, with her strange husband and his strange family, and then spooky kind of stuff starts to happen. And yeah, so this one has been getting a lot of good reviews. A lot of people have really said that they like it, and it's a little spooky, and maybe a little bit of a psychological horror. I shall see. But I've also heard, and don't quote me on this, that this might have been one of the Oprah Book of the Month Club reads at one point. So if it's good enough for Oprah, it's good enough for me. Looking forward to reading this one. Oh, this one's also my book club read for October. So at the end of October, for those that want to join me in reading this, we'll talk about it at the end of October. So my next October read, this will definitely be one read in October, is called The Shadows, and this book is by Alex North. And this book is another horror, and I'm excited about reading this one because it just sounds super spooky. So this one, I believe a murder takes place when some people are young, and then the person that was did the murder or allegedly did the murder disappears. And so the main character, I believe he comes back to the town where this all takes place, and he's staying in his house with his mom. They're hearing noises in the house and thinking that he might be coming back and all of this spooky stuff. So yeah, The Shadows by Alex North. Excited and a little scared to read this one. So what says horror other than Stephen King? You got to read a Stephen King book in October if you're trying to read spooky books. So this one's called If It Bleeds. And this one is, I believe it's a trilogy. I think it's 3 short stories, or it might be 4. I'm not sure, but there's several short stories in this. They sound really good. They seem like a little more on the psychological side, but with Stephen King, you never know what's going to pop up out of his books. It's kind of thick, but I'm ambitious and I plan on getting this done in October. The next book is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. Grady Hendrix I love Grady Hendrix writing. So I read My Best Friend's Exorcism some time ago. That book, it wasn't too scary, but scary enough, and it was just so entertaining. He's really good at creating books in a certain decade. So this one takes place in the 90s. My Best Friend's Exorcism takes place in the 80s, and that's what attracted me to that book. But this one's the 90s. I'm a 90s person. I love 90s music and everything. But I also will be interested to read this. I'm not too into vampires, but I've heard really good reviews about this book. I've heard it gets really, kind of really scary though, and a little maybe even disturbing. So I might have to save this for daytime reading. But yeah, again, this, I think this takes place in Georgia. So you see the peaches, but that orange kind of gives me some Halloween fall vibes as well. So the last 2 books that I have, these are real question mark books. All of them are questionable. I've been in a reading slump, so I don't know if I'm going to get through all those books. I'm not even, I'm just going to shoot for the stars, as they say. And they say if you shoot for the stars, at least you'll get to the moon. Well, if I shoot for the stars, maybe I'll just get to the ceiling of my bedroom or something like that. So, but this is one I aspire to read in the fall. But it is called Caste, The Origins of Our Discontents by Isabel Wilkerson. This is a nonfiction book, and it talks about the caste system in America and how it has affected us in the past and in the present. And yeah, I want to read this one. This one definitely was an Oprah book club pick. rave reviews about it. It's an important read. You know, I need to read this to understand how things are set up in the United States. And yeah, so I want to read this one. We'll see. And last but not least, this is another maybe. So this is a hope. I would like to. I aspire. Probably won't happen book. But this is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. And yeah, so this one's been one that I've been wanting to read a lot. But I just keep putting it off. So a little bit about this. I'll just read from the jacket. For years, rumors of the Marsh Girl have haunted Barkley Cove, a quiet town on the North Carolina coast. So in late 1969, when handsome Chase Andrews is found dead, the locals immediately suspect Kaya Clark, the so-called Marsh Girl. But Kaya is not what they say. Sensitive and intelligent, she has survived for years alone in the marsh that she calls home, finding friends in the gulls and lessons in the sand. Then the time comes when she yearns to be touched and loved. When two young men from town become intrigued by her wild beauty, Kaya opens herself to a new life until the unthinkable happens. Okay, so I don't know what the unthinkable is. I have no clue what's going to happen. This is another one that's got a lot of rave reviews and people have loved, and it feels like I should have read it a long time ago, but I haven't. Again, this one's a great one for the fall. This could have been a summer read too, because look at this cover. You kind of looks like a sunset, a beautiful sunset at that, but with the orange colors, that gives me fall, kind of the fall vibes as well. So those are all the books that I want to read in the fall. Again, it is high hopes. I don't know if I'm going to get to them or not, but I sure hope I can. So I'm about to try to create a reading plan, so maybe I can increase my reading and just kind of make that my me time, and also get more reading in and enjoy the books that I love. But we'll see. So I'll let you know about my new plan and how well that works in another video. But with that said, I'm excited about the fall, my favorite time of the year. And I just hope to see you all on my channel and continue to talk about books that we love. And make sure to subscribe to my channel. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Tell your friends about it. Let's get more followers, more dialogue. And be book nerdy and be blessed.